I'm gonna just say it straight up. I think people are ass at Rainmaker in fucking X Battle. And my Rainmaker rank is so low, I'm so annoyed. I'm not that bad at Rainmaker, it's one of my favorite modes. But doing it in solo is so agonizing for me. I would legitimately rather play Clamblitz, and Clamblitz is usually an X rank when I'm on. He's usually an anarchy, it's like Rainmaker or Zones, and I'm just like, nah, I'm good, fam. I'm good. I'm insulting people in X rank, by the way. If you don't know any of the shit that I'm about to say, don't feel bad. It is not taught to you in the game. It's not even that clear in the game. You just kind of figure it out as you keep going. And mostly, other people will teach it to you. That's just kind of how it is. Because not every mode in this game, Clamblitz, is very well explained, or, like, I wouldn't even blame half the people who play this game to not know how to play Clamblitz. Like, it is such a weird mode. At least the other modes had, like, something I can compare it to, like in other shooters. Like, Zones is just, like, King of the Hill kind of thing. Fucking Tower Control is just payload. Rainmaker is fucking Capture the Flag. Like, that's easy. That's the comparison that most people who play at least some form of shooters can, like, understand, you know? Splatoon's weird, is all I can say. And you shouldn't feel ashamed for not knowing stuff. I will shame people in X rank, though, because they should know this shit. If they are good enough to be in the highest rank in the game, they should know how to play the mode. Now, zones. We're just gonna learn some basic shit about zones. Basic description of zones, it's just King of the Hill. That's all it is. In other shooting games, it's known as that. Just because it has a different name doesn't mean it works any different. You just paint the zone, and it's yours. And a counter goes down, and when it goes down to 0, you win. If you lose the zone, you get a penalty. The penalty only comes in if the other team captures the zone. I need to fucking preface that. Alright? If the zone is not captured by the other team, you will not get a penalty. So what to do in the first 20 seconds? Because this is important. And not a lot of people know how to take advantage of this. Alright, you're setting up, you usually have some paint around the ground, you know. You have your support probably painting. So you can back up, and you can paint, and like coming up and painting, so you can have some like shit for you to move. Always recommend, and what most people would probably do, is get in their lovely position to attack, basically. People usually just go on the attack in the first 20 seconds, which, fair, absolutely valid. It gives you the advantage. You want to be aggressive. If you are struggling to get in and contest the zone, at least with your main gun, I don't have a bomb right now, but throw a fucking bomb in there would be lovely and helpful. So it makes the other team move, and it also puts paint on the ground. Most bombs, of course. There is torpedo where you can shoot it out of the sky, but I mean, there are so little torpedo weapons, and even then, usually when you have torpedo, a lot of people love to spam the shit out of that. One other thing that people love doing, which is very valid, is farming your special, alright? And I already got my special, just off of that little bit alone, alright? Lovely. We love to spam special to get people out of the zone, alright? I don't usually just go in and fucking try and kill. Usually when I'm a frontline, I do that, I guess. Yeah, pretty much. Other times, if you're support, midline, or anything else, I just try and play for my special, honestly. If you have a special worth playing for, of course. Any displacement special is very valuable, especially at the start, to get that advantage. Yeah, that's basically it. That's all you can really do at the start. And also when you're in a neutral state. Because there is neutral, there isn't just attacking and defending. There is a neutral state where you're both just kind of trying to contest the zone. So for attacking, It's very, very shrimple. Positioning, comes into this a lot. For attacking, defending, all that kind of stuff. When you're attacking, you want to be in the most advantageous position you can. Usually frontliners are like rollers or splatanas. They'd ledge camp the fuck out of this. Alright, see where my paint was right there. Let me go up for a little view right here. This shit right here, that's dangerous. If you go near that, you're fucking dead. That is why people position there. It denies these two entry points. It tells the opponent, if you stand here, you're fucking dead, dude. Don't go there. You want to deny your opponents as much good positioning as possible. And that is the purpose, I'd say, of a person going more in the front lines, or being more aggressive than the others. It's just area denial. Put them in a bad position to be sniped or picked off by other people in your team. Alright, being a frontline is not always about like, hey, I get all the kills! No, you can just as well do great things just denying areas for your opponents. It don't matter if you don't have the highest kill count. Who the fuck cares? It's all you can really go in if you're coming out this way and this way is you kind of funnel into this kind of area, sadly. Which, if you have a nice grip on here as the attacker right here, just shooting up in there, it's very good for you. Now, thankfully, Inkblood has this. However, it's not great because, well, let me just show you. The sniper can see that. The sniper can... Yeah. And even... Alright, even when you don't have comms and you're in solo queue, just saying this way as the sniper to signal to your teammates, hey, there's a guy coming from this route. That's really helpful. That's really good. And if you pay attention to that shit, like I do, I usually try and pay attention to that. Yeah. Yeah. Communication is very key. Communication is very good in this game. Not only communication, but also paying attention to that communication. Right? Defending. Defending... Oh boy. If there's something that people are really bad at in this game, consistently, even in X rank, it's defending. Defending is admittedly a really hard thing to do in this game. Mostly, in modes like tower control. Tower control is very egregious with this because usually in these kind of modes, if I claimed the zone, the other team would get special advantage, which basically means they passively, like, just gain special by doing absolutely nothing. But in tower control, that's not the case. In tower control, whoever is seated on the tower gets that special advantage. So, unfortunately, a lot of people, especially frontliners, tend to do this little thing called feeding. This is a term that we use in Splatoon to describe people who just run in, no plan whatsoever, no special, no bombs, just go in and start shooting, panicking, not really, like, formulating any kind of, like, strategy to, like, you know, kill anyone, just fucking just going in and dying, basically. These are the kind of people who have so many deaths. Like, they will go negative on their KD ratios. Very often. Most of their deaths are not they lost like a legitimate fight or they can't aim. It's mostly because they panicked, they fed, and they probably had very bad positioning. Usually what people do when they feed is they also do bad positioning. They just run in and die. Like, a good example is just I run in, I'm going in, and I just go usually I just go immediately to the zone, not knowing that there's a fucking roller camping right here, buddy. That shit bad. That shit real bad. Don't do that. Don't do that. There are plenty, I assure you guys, there are plenty of people in X rank who also have this problem of feeding. It is, granted, to a lesser extent, but you shouldn't ideally be doing that. Yeah, no, as someone who doesn't often run into the problem of feeding, because I usually play Blackline or support, I don't usually feed that much. And I see my teammates, I even see the teammates on my actual, like, fucking, like, competitive teams do this. I call them out for that. You guys know from my streams, alright, from the VODs of me and my team in the NSC, I said to both Asha and Scott, Mr. Stamp Enthusiast, and Noah doesn't do this because he's like me. He plays mostly backline and support and anchor, so he doesn't do that. But for those two, they often play front lines, and I remember I said to both of them, you guys are feeding too much. You guys are going in and dying when we are defending, and that's not good. You guys need to sit back, spam special, coordinate with us, and spam your bombs as well. You guys should not be going in straight into the enemy, sometimes even two of them, and just dying. Move in with us. That's basically what I'm trying to say. You gotta move in with your team. Don't go off on your own, especially during this, because especially when people are attacking, they're usually attacking in teams, or there'll usually be a lot of them. You're not gonna go in when defending and just see like one person and be like, oh yeah, I killed that one person, let's go. No, there's gonna be like 3 other people behind them who will probably pick you off. Alright, unless you're a Splatoon god, alright? You are not going any further than that one person, if at all. And at that point, it was a trade. You guys aren't really any further to getting that objective. And so I say, it's a team game. You gotta move with your team. You gotta farm your special. You gotta use your bombs. You gotta use everything in your kit to your advantage. Don't just move in and die. So instead of feeding, and instead of rushing in on your own, just to get that sweet zone, alright? Or that sweet objective. Any mode with this. Any mode can be subject to feeding. But what you want to do is, like I said, just don't panic. If it's just a few points difference, I don't care. Get your special, make a strong attack to prevent any more points from being gained, alright? Build a strong attack to get the advantage. Do not rush in, panic, and waste time respawning because you died. And that's it. I say, build your special, bomb shit if you can. If you can't, paint for your special again. Specials are used not only to gain the advantage when attacking, but also to get back in. The specials are very valuable to getting back in and contesting the zone. Contesting the objective in general. Rainmaker, tower, fucking clamblets sometimes. Usually what you want to do with your special is just get people the fuck out of here. Get them out. Move yourselves in. Go slowly with your team. Make sure you get into good positions. Sometimes shit like this requires patience. If you have comms, it'll be so much easier to coordinate this stuff. But if you're in solo queue, that's kind of just how you have to be. You just kind of have to hope that your team don't feed. And if they do, that's fine. I would wait until your teammates are alive to pop your special if I had to give advice on when to pop the special in solo. Wait until your team are alive so you can all go in. Don't just pop it when you're the only one alive. You won't get any value out of that. Like I said, tower control is basically just payload. What you're doing with tower control is just moving this tower from point A to point B with some little checkpoints that just stand you still for 8 seconds and then you move on. And the tower only moves when your team is on here. It will stop when the opponents come up here. And if it's just the opponents on the tower, it'll move back. If you stand off for too long, tower goes back on its own. The tower does go faster if multiple people are on it. However, I need to fucking say this. Do not all go on the tower. Alright, that's a thing that people in low ranks do all the time. It's funny. You'd expect, low-ranking people to just ignore the objective. That is not the case. In low ranks, people will spam the objective. They will stay near the objective if it kills them, which it will. It will kill them. Do not all stay in the zone. The zone is a death trap. Do not all come on the tower. That is a death trap. Do not all stay near the Rainmaker. Don't just go up and pick the Rainmaker whenever you feel like it, whenever it pops. Don't just go up and pick the Rainmaker up. You're gonna die. You're all gonna fucking die. And Clam Blitz. Don't all make a power clam. Don't all focus on making a power clam at the start. Please don't. 20-ish seconds. The first part of the game. To get the advantage. It's like... This is gonna be a theme in every mode where I say paint position, spam bombs, and all that, but unlike zones, for stuff like Tower, Rainmaker, and Clams, what I would want you to focus on is killing. I do not want you to touch this fucking tower, the Rainmaker, or make a power clam until you have the advantage. And what do I mean by advantage? I mean fucking people on the top of the screen, you know, where you see who is dead and who's alive, alright? That shit. I want the other team to be at least 2 members down. I want you guys to kill at least 2 people, alright? Have a 2-man advantage before you touch this tower. Before you touch that Rainmaker. Before you make that clam ball. I want you to have a 2-man advantage at the least. At the very least. Do not, all at once, at the very start of the game, come up and hog this tower. Do not do that. You will all die. I generally never make a push to attack unless you have that 2-man advantage. Alright, you can try with 1 man. Would not recommend it. I would be like very much happy if you secured mid by killing everyone around here, here, and here, so that you can all come up and get to your next positions. Alright, whilst the tower's moving. Because as soon as someone gets on that tower, they're dead. Especially if there are 4 other people alive. If you have not managed to kill a single person, whoever is on that tower is just dead. You have successfully fed. No feeding. Do not die needlessly. Your objective in these modes. I know Turf War isn't all about killing all the time. But in these ranked modes, your objective is kill first, objective a little later. Obviously, you don't have to kill the entirety of the other team to start doing the objective. But if you want to make any sort of push or progress, you need to have a man advantage. Especially with tower control and Rainmaker. Because as soon as someone gets on the tower or picks up the Rainmaker, you are essentially kind of down a person. Obviously, pay attention to where everyone's positioning, both your team and the enemies. You see someone positioning up here, usually the sniper or whatnot, you pay attention to that shit and you get them off of there. Usually people will be up here as well, on umami, just having a little ball of a time. Coming here sometimes. I like to come here. I very rarely see people coming over this way. I think I said before that people I'd recommend to go on the tower in the first place is your backline. Either your backline or someone who can special spam. Obviously, I'm not a special spammer right now. If you have a special worth spamming, like Booyah Bomb, fucking Tri-Strike, I guess Inkback is fine. People play Inkback on tower control. I would not recommend it, honestly. Both the fucking suck hitbox, or whatever it's called, very inconsistent. And also, people can very easily, whilst you're on the tower, you're maybe sucking like right here. People can very easily go around and hit you from the back like that. I don't really like it. I've had that situation too many times. And also, on tower control, usually I see rollers, splatanas, fucking everyone is all close range and everything. I wouldn't really recommend Inkback for this mode. I would much more recommend Bubbler, actually. Trizookan, Crab especially is really good on here. You see all this shit where I'm looking at right now? I can pop Crab at any time, bro. And whoever's in my line of sight right here, they're dead as fuck. And specifically why I would recommend only one person on the tower. If you wanna push, like, the checkpoint to make it go faster and, like, get the checkpoint, go ahead and put 2 on there. Briefly. But I would only recommend one person on the tower. Because whoever's on the tower is basically your one man down, alright? Whoever's on this tower is vulnerable as fuck. And you know what else you do? And this is coming on to defending as well. You spam bombs at the tower to defend it. You spam the shit out of bombs and AoE. Now what has AoE? And what is their best mode in the game for this entire weapon class? Blasters. All that AoE. They can shoot around the tower and kill the shit out of you. And because it's AoE, multiple people get hit. When all 4 of you are up on this tower, guess what this fucking does? Your ass is dead, bro. Your ass gone. This is why blasters are really good on tower. Because they kill you. Anyone who is insanely playing this objective is dead. And that's why I really don't recommend a bunch of you be on tower. This is the same thing for rollers as well. If you have a roller underneath here, or up here, or even a splatana as well, you're all fucking dead. If you have a charger aimed, if all of you are on here, you bet your ass he's getting more than one of you in one shot. Splatlings as well. Anything can come here and kill multiple of you while you're on a tower. That is why I really recommend only one person is on here. You are so much more vulnerable on this tower. Normally, I like to stay away from the tower. It's not because I don't like playing objective, it's because I never really see myself as able to defend the tower that greatly. No matter what I'm playing. I will happily go on the tower if I'm a backliner. I accept my job. I will try and do my best to shoot and be a big annoying bitch. But as soon as I'm like at the close range, as soon as anyone gets close, I'm not gonna be able to defend that tower. My ass dead. The other 3 are meant to go and defend you. They're meant to push up, get into very advantageous spots, and make sure no one comes near you. on the tower. You know, I haven't really gone into defending that much, but I'm gonna be completely real. Defending is just kind of the same on all modes. It's just bomb spam if you can, paint spam if you can, and get that special, move in with your team. Don't go in on your own and feed, work together. So, Rainmaker, like I said before, it's just, it's basically capture the flag. But, I think usually, the flag would start in the opponent's base, and this it just starts in the middle. Yeah, to get this lovely little you gotta pop this shield right here. Bam. You gotta take it to the little checkpoints. You get on the checkpoint. Bam. It's beautiful, isn't it? You pop it, you take it to the next checkpoint, over there. And then you win. So in the first 20 seconds, see there's this nice little meme, that I actually have saved. Hold on, let me see. You see that? This is very, very common in low ranks, where people just go up to the Rainmaker about to explode and all die. Alright, so the first 20 seconds, you want to go in, you want to get your positions, you also want to have the ability to actually pop the shield, if you want. What I would recommend is trying to see where everyone is in the first few seconds that you get to have a look around. Alright, usually I'd have someone go over here, maybe like look up here, scout, see who's over there, whoever's over on this bit, and see who's over there. Usually, with me, I do not go immediately to pop the Rainmaker shield. In any situation. That Rainmaker shield, I don't give a shit about. Okay, so usually when I'm doing anything in Rainmaker, I'm never going for the Rainmaker, I'm never going for the shield. What I usually want to do is go around and kill whoever the fuck is looking at the Rainmaker shield and trying to pop it. And I will kill them. Because their ass is paying attention to that Rainmaker shield, paying attention to if it will pop on them, and if it'll kill them. They can pop it. Okay, so this is actually a good demonstration. This is how far you gotta be from the Rainmaker when it's popping. So usually in this situation, if I feel like I could just go under here, get whoever the fuck is here, get whoever the hell's here, because I guarantee you there will be people standing here. One of the big things with that is that as soon as that Rainmaker shield is popped, I don't care who pops it. But if they pop it, and I come up, I shoot them, they're dead. That means we can have a better chance of pushing. Alright, they're one man down. There's another person I can get, they're two men down. Alright, and that's just with me. What if my teammates also did the same thing and tried to fucking kill other people? Oh my god, that means we can get a push going. A nice, easy, early push. That is how you Rainmaker. When you're all just fucking shooting the Rainmaker shield, there's no progress being done. We're just wasting 10 seconds of the match on both ends. Like, just don't do it, man. Stay a nice distance from that Rainmaker and kill as much as you can. I liked play like at the start of the game when we were all playing like low ranks and whatnot. You can tell who's at the lower ranks and whatnot. C rank players, any lower rank players like C, B, even A as well. I guess I do see this in it a lot of the time. I see people focusing so hard on the Rainmaker and the Rainmaker shield that it's just a waste of time. Whenever me and my team are playing, anytime we we successfully defend, and we kill like 2 people, the Rainmaker included, I always say, get the fuck away from that Rainmaker shield. Don't focus on it. Find the 2 other people who have lived through that push of theirs and kill them. If we do not kill them, if we focus on the Rainmaker, they will all come back and continue the push. You leave that Rainmaker shield alone. You go out and kill the others so that the fucking dead teammates cannot jump to them. We pop it when we know we can move it. And if we can't, then we don't. We go in and we kill. It's as simple as that. It's like I said, in X rank, people do this as well. They just hard focus on the Rainmaker shield. And I'm always like, guys, there's still a person left. There are people jumping to him. Getting the Rainmaker will do nothing right now. Please stop. Please stop going for the shield. And don't you dare pick that up. If you are gonna go with popping the shield, I would pay attention to what your opponents are doing, or what your opponents are picking. Yeah, I would pay attention to the other team's weapons, mostly because different weapons in the game have this thing called object damage. Now you have like your regular damage, how much damage you do to a player. And then there's also this thing called object damage, which is the amount of damage a weapon does to an object. It can be a splash wall, can be a fucking wave breaker, it can be a beacon, and it can also be this lovely little shield right here. And you can see my damage isn't too great, which is fine. My damage isn't too great, but if I play, say, a Splatling, Splatlings have lovely damage to objects. A Hydra Splatling can shred this motherfucker. It's why people are the victim of that video I showed, of them running up to the Rainmaker and popping. That is because they likely did not pay attention to the weapons that they are against, and see, if they paid attention, they would have seen, I don't know, a Hydra or a heavy Splatling on the other end, you know, destroying the Rainmaker shield when they're running up to it with their short-range shooters. And yeah, that is why you do not just run up to the Rainmaker shield like that. Bombs also do pretty good amounts of damage. Specials as well do a lot of damage. Now, object damage, very, very, very important. That's why, again, I do not recommend going near that Rainmaker shield. Only go near and pick up the Rainmaker when you have the advantage, like any mode that isn't spot zones, of course. Defending, it's pretty much the same as every mode, and like I said before, do not just stay back and pop the Rainmaker shield and then just go off. And we had a new player, and we were doing really well as well. They were pretty good for a new player. The only thing that they needed was knowledge, like I say. And we were in the lead against a really, really good team. Alright? And then it went into overtime. Now, it only went into overtime because the Rainmaker shield had popped. We had said to them, do not pop that Rainmaker shield, because then they will be able to get the Rainmaker. And what did they do? They got the Rainmaker. They went into overtime, and they managed to get the lead. It wasn't a very big lead that we had, because, you know, it was a very good team. We did very well of defending, until then. It was very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. And what sealed the deal was popping that Rainmaker. If you don't pop the Rainmaker shield when it's in your base and then just leave it. You know the whole fucking videos where it's like someone's like sharking, like maybe like right here in someone's base, and the Rainmaker's like right here, alright? And it's popped or something. It somehow doesn't kill you, of course. And the other team just go and they take their positions. The Rainmaker's just sitting there. Alright, you have your videos of someone sharking, and they're just like, take the Rainmaker. 1. You popped the shield. You gave them access to the Rainmaker without having to make a big explosion and alerting the team that there indeed is a person behind you sharking. And you let them win. I genuinely do not get the tactics behind people popping the Rainmaker shield in their base and then just leaving it. Like, even if there isn't a person sharking there, I wouldn't do that anyway. Yeah, that is exactly the reason why those kind of clips exist. If you look at all those clips, it is the same thing. Someone's sharking in your base, you pop the shield, the sharker comes out, makes a mad dash for the Rainmaker, and makes a mad dash for the goal. Oh god, but yeah. In general, if we're not focusing on the Rainmaker shield, same as all the other modes when I say about defending. Bombs, farm your special. I'd also recommend not focusing too much on it. I know it's like, oh man, they're getting more points, because, you know, the Rainmaker's alive, you know, you're getting very stressed and whatnot. Sometimes you can't just focus only on the guy carrying the Rainmaker. And can I go back to spawn? Alright. Okay, let's make a hypothetical. Alright, usually the Rainmaker will be at the back. Alright? If they're at the front, they're a fucking ballsy motherfucker. And they're going to score more points. Obviously go and stop them, if that's the case. But if the Rainmaker is staying back, usually what that means is there are people here, anywhere in front. And they are preventing you from getting to that Rainmaker guy. You can spam a bomb over there to make sure that they're not coming closer. But usually what I would like people to do more of is dealing with the people who are preventing you from getting to that Rainmaker. You know? Because often what happens in Rainmaker is you go up, you kill the Rainmaker, and then you immediately die because their teammates are just like, ah, shit. Alright. It's one little delay, but like, it's not the worst. You're just delaying them. That's the kind of thing you're doing by just going for the Rainmaker. You're just delaying it. Ideally, you want to get rid of the people who are actively killing your team. That is a thing that people in low ranks tend to do, is they hyper-focus on one specific thing in a mode. Usually it's the objective. I say people hyper-focus on the tower, people hyper-focus on the Rainmaker, they hyper-focus on the objective. And I don't think that you should be doing that. To get better in these ranks, I would highly recommend just being more mindful of your surroundings, being more mindful of your teammates as well. If I ever do pick up the Rainmaker, you know what I do? I don't just go like, oh yeah, just wait for my team to clear out the thing. Even then, most people, even in X rank, when the Rainmaker, all they do is just go like, yeah, fire that up there, and then just go up and score if they want. I don't do that. What I do with the Rainmaker, and is the reason why I get a lot of kills with the Rainmaker, is I do this. I spam the shit out of its big as fuck insta-kill AoE kind of fucking shit. Right like that. Everywhere. And support my team. That's what I do with the Rainmaker. And then, when I see that we have a bit of an advantage, then I move. When I see 100% that it is clear to get a checkpoint, then I will go. Even when I'm a backliner, I rarely pick up the Rainmaker. Not because I'm allergic to it, or that I don't want to pick it up. It's because other people pick it up before me. Because they want to push objective fucking urgently. Even if they have one-man advantage, someone will pick up the Rainmaker and attempt to move it when you can't. Whoever picks up the Rainmaker ideally should be the backliner, because they are already used to playing a weapon like that. As a fucking E-leader or any backline, I am usually used to having a long charge time and going like, wham! And the range of this thing is pretty comparable, honestly. Look at that. That's a lot of range. Alright. Their mobility is horrendous. Usually backliners, they're not very mobile at all, so they're used to it. So that's what you should do. The very mobile frontliners, midliners, all that kind of stuff, support as well. Oh my god, I love being support on Rainmaker. Those are the people who should not pick up the Rainmaker. Obviously, that can change, depending on circumstances. But generally, 9 times out of 10, you should not be picking up the Rainmaker, especially if you have a really good special to spam. Like, look at me with my Tri-Strike. I should not be picking up the Rainmaker. If all of my teammates are alive and we have like a 2-man advantage, I'm not picking up that Rainmaker right now. I have a fucking Tri-Strike right here. Why the fuck would I pick up the Rainmaker? Why would I do that? Even if I believed that I could make it all the way to that checkpoint and score the checkpoint, I would not pick that up. I do not care. What I would do is I get into a nice little position and I'd spam Tri-Strike. And I'd go in and I'd make sure no one can get to my Rainmaker buddy. Here's what you do. You don't just pick it up because you feel like it. Support whoever's taking it, which is usually the backline. If the backline isn't taking it and they don't want to take it, if you're in solo queue, fine. If for some reason they don't wanna, that's fine. You can sacrifice yourself to do that, but obviously, you know, make sure you're all in a position to do so. If your backliner is that competent to be able to, like, I don't know, position here and get some, like, picks, just, like, fucking one-shotting people, like, from right here, that's fine. That's great. It's absolutely fine, but obviously do it at a time where you can do it, where it is advantageous to. So for people who aren't carrying the Rainmaker, like I say, get your specials, defend that motherfucker like it's, like your whole life depends on it. Usually, what kind of formation I would form, with your 4 fellas, is having at least 2 people at the front, making way for the Rainmaker, and having someone next to the Rainmaker. I wouldn't say completely behind, unless you're backline, of course. Because sometimes if you're too far away and someone does manage to slip through, let's say here, if you're, having your little time up here as a backliner, or just anyone, you're trying to, like, spot. If the Rainmaker's just, coming up to the podium, and there's a little fella right here, you may be too far away to go get him. And the Rainmaker may die before they get to the checkpoint. You need to have that nice little positioning, that nice little spacing. The kind of aim with the person next to the Rain, or like pretty much like escorting the Rainmaker, almost, is to watch any potential flanks, mostly. Because a very common thing in Rainmaker, which, to be fair, is a good thing, is flanking. I like the mode that encourages flanking. That's very good. Well done, Rainmaker. Sometimes that is the best option, because no one really watches their flank in these games anymore. Give me up here, Sponge. Alright, so, you know how I've been describing every single mode so far? As like, oh, this is just King of the Hill. Oh, this is just Payload. Oh, this is just capture the flag. What the fuck is this? I think there's a single mode, or a single, like, thing in shooters that could, like, be compared to this. I don't believe that there's anything like this. This is... And this is why I think people struggle to grasp how exactly to play, especially in the low ranks. We have this little clam basket right here. And this is how you score. You have to pierce this. You have to put clams in it. Now, how do you do that? You collect these little clams here. Now, first of all, you press A to throw the clams. It's something I feel like a lot of people in the low ranks need to learn. You press A to throw. It's the same as throwing a salmon egg. Let's say that. Which is very useful. I'm glad that they put that on the same button. Because in Splatoon 2, obviously you didn't have not clam throwing, you didn't have salmon egg throwing. And so it was kind of a little fucking confusing to suddenly press A to throw a clam. Obviously, when I'm throwing these clams, they're not doing anything. What you gotta do? You gotta collect 8. You throw your enemy clam basket. It opens the basket, and now you can put your little clammies in there. And give you 3 points each. And if you score, the other team get a little pity clam right here. I call it the pity clam. I don't know if that's how it's actually called. And usually I say, don't touch that fucking pity clam. Don't fucking touch it. I guess it might be a free score, but ideally you want to use it when you can guarantee a score. You don't want to just take it out, reveal your location to everyone, because, by the way, when you have this clam ball, your location is broadcast to everyone. Everyone knows where you are. It is not good for you to reveal your location to everyone. Fucking, you have your power clam right here. You throw it in. So you have a little timer here. And it keeps going down, and when that runs out, then you can't score anymore. You have to get another power clam. But you put clams in, it prolongs the little timer. I would generally not recommend being on your own for this thing. I know you see brushes being like, oh yeah, I can run around, get all these fucking clams, and then like just go over to the basket. That is not gonna work in higher levels. You will get hardly anywhere in X with that, but I still see people doing it. Let's go with the first 30 seconds, or first 20 seconds. So you spawn, you buy clam, you go out. This is probably the most, like, turf war-esque positioning, I guess, that you could do. I don't know. Like, generally, people are more spaced out in this mode, because obviously the little clammies are like spaced out everywhere, and you kind of have to go separate ways to get your clams. I personally wouldn't focus too much on the clams at the start. They're nice to get a hold of if you can, if you just so happen to be in that vicinity. But I would not focus on getting clams. What I would focus on in the first few seconds and in a neutral state is getting into a position, a very advantageous position to kill, alright? Same as tower control, same as Rainmaker. I would not push and get clams, I would not try and do that until you get an advantageous position. Until you have a man advantage. My teammates will often just, like, pass me a power clam that they built, and I will happily carry it. Because, I mean, on the black line, it's usually safe to put it with me. I, honestly, would recommend just getting, like, to 6 or 7 clams at most. I would not make a clam ball if I could help it. Clam ball, bad. Alright? I would rather have, like, your entire team, on average, have, like, 4 clams each, than have, like, 2 people with a clam ball, or they like a fucking power clam, and the other 2 with, like, 1 clam. I would rather have everyone have an equal amount of clams. Not have your location revealed, and then when you're able to actually go in and score with everyone, then you pass clams to each other, and you score. Yeah, a lot of people in this mode, because I feel like there's no communication, people are just incentivized to kind of do this, but they often go off on their own. When in this mode, I feel like teamwork is the most important. It is the mode where working with your team is crucial. And I know people will complain about it being, oh, solo queue, I don't have any communication. If you're going into solo queue in clams, even if it's just like to practice, it is still good to try and work with your team. When I am playing Clamblets in solo, I really like to pay attention to what my team are doing. I mostly like to work around my team. Usually if they're all getting clams, I ideally would like to delay the people on the opposite team. Either by bomb spamming, painting, or like, just doing anything. I'd like to kill. My main, my main objective, and the main thing I would recommend for everyone in all modes, especially Tower, Rainmaker, Clamblets, is killing. They're nice to have. Absolutely, they are the objective. And again, I wouldn't focus on them unless we had an advantage. Because otherwise it is a detriment. And if you have like 7 clams and then you just die like right here or something, you've just given a bunch of clams to the other team if you die. I would rather you keep those clams like around like here or something, like where you found them, like out of their way. Basically, if they went here, it'd be a waste of their time. But no, instead you wasted your time getting those clams, and you've just given it to them. But yeah. Like I say on like fucking Twitter, I hate the people who sneak around. They go all sneaky like, and they're just like, I hate that. Most of the time, if you even look at your map or look around, see that there's no clam ball being made or no clam ball has been made, what the fuck are your team gonna do if they actually super jump to you? What are they gonna do? Well, A, they're gonna reveal your location. Nice work. They can't do jack shit. They don't have a power clam. You have now, like, since you are there, sitting there doing jack shit, just spamming this way, what you are doing is basically making your team fight a 3v4. Do you think your team are going to manage a 3v4? With you just spamming this way and no one has a clam ball? In my opinion, I think that you are throwing. I don't think you should be doing that. I don't think you should be spamming this way near their basket when no one is in a position to come in and score at all. This is why I think that this mode, that it's very, very agreed upon that this mode relies a lot on communication. Because, like, people complain about solo queue and it's like, oh man, there's no communication, blah blah blah. In that situation, I don't think you need communication to realize what you're doing is not a good move. I don't think you need communication to realize that this is bad. Before you even attempt to go in and try and get to that basket, you should look around and see, do we have a clam ball? If you even want to attempt that stuff. I personally think it is a very risky and very insecure way to get a score. A push like that to where you have one person here, and if you do have a clam ball and you jump here, you have one clam ball, you won't usually get much more than that. You will get that one score and it will not continue. You will all probably wipe out, or the 2 people who are over there, the guy with the jump and the guy with the clam ball, will die. And you'll leave your teammates to do a 4v2. Great. That, I do not believe you need communication to get across. Whoever is sitting here, obviously without the clam ball, Whoever's sitting here saying this way and being a sneaky son of a bitch and not helping their team, they don't need communication to realize what they're doing is not good. What they're doing is making their team fight in disadvantage. And the reason I'm so annoyed is that people in X rank have been doing it. And again, they did it a lot more after Crack and Cheese was taken out of the game. Where those people could no longer just be like, pop Kraken, I get to go here, right up to the basket, and just be like, yay! Look at all these jumps I can give, hooray! This way, everyone! I can protect you! While we score like fucking 2 clam balls, hell yeah! Now that that's no longer in the game, people have gone back to the old fucking brainless strat, I guess, of finding a place to sit and spam this way. Especially when it is not advantageous. It is a move, or a strat, that is very committal. I do not recommend it. If you want to go up there, like, you know, sneak around and whatnot, and you realize, oh, there's no clam ball, just flank. Don't spam this way, just flank. You're in the flank position. Go and kill. You can kill. You can shoot people from behind. There's a million other things that you can do than spamming this way and sitting on your ass doing nothing. Another thing that could be very nice to know in Clamblets, like I said before, throwing the little clammies in, makes the basket stay open more. What I see a lot of people doing, especially in the lower ranks, is we get a score, right? And then what people do instead, so I have 3 clams here. What you would like to do is go up and have someone prolong the basket. Now, what a lot of people do is they go around, even if they have enough clams to keep it open, they go around, and then that happens. They try to get a big old football, a big old clam ball, and then the fucking thing shuts. You get a penalty, obviously, as you can see, you get a penalty there for not, you know, keeping it open. And all 8 of those clams were not contributed to your score. When instead, if you just had those 3 clams, or even 1 clam, you'd get 3 more points on your board. And then if you go back, you can get just 2, you get more clams. And then, like this, they can just spawn right here. And then you keep the push going. You just gotta space out your clams. That's how you slowly but surely keep a push going. And that's why pushes in clams usually last very, like, either it's a complete knockout, like, instantly, because people are using the strat that I just said, or they do that thing where they try and farm an entire new clam ball whilst the fucking thing's going, and then it just closes. And then it just ends the push. When you should just have a couple people trying to defend the basket, just like going around, killing people, making sure no one gets out. And you have 1 or 2 people keeping the basket open like that. Slowly but surely doing that. That's all you need to do. Like that. Sometimes the people who are like coming here defending and all that, sometimes they also have clams. So they can keep it open as well, in case there aren't any clams around here. Let me think. So defending, again, like all the other modes, what you do, it's kind of depends on your opponents. If they are the kind of people who just continuously spams clams at the basket, you just fucking get a bomb on here and it usually gets them to go away. you put a special down, or you just shoot and then they die. They're just like, yeah, I need to put clams in the basket. And you know what? I don't fault people for doing that. Maybe they just think the push is gonna end soon and they're just like, you know, I gotta get all the clams in. I gotta get all the points I can before I die. And that's fair. That's fair. Especially in solo. So yeah, that's a little easier to defend. But when you have a team, even in solo queue, when you have a team that is just absolutely, like, on their game, they are not letting that push stop, then that's a little bit more complicated. Same as the other modes. It, like, literally, defending is very, very straightforward with all the ranked modes. You farm your special, you spam bombs, you don't panic, you don't feed. Ooh, maybe I should mention, in terms of, like, putting your clams in, some people might not have 3. Alright, I was putting 3 in. Some people may have 4, 6, 7. What do you do when you have extra clams? Do you spam them? Or do you just, like, hold on to them for a little bit? I, personally, I think it is up to you to decide, based on what position your team is in. If you are at the start of the game, and if you think that the push will be very long, and your teammate's gonna like fight off all the people coming to defend their basket, delaying your clams is actually very good. If you have like 7 clams, or even like 6 clams, or any clams that you have left over here, you can be one of those people who go in and like fight off the defenders. And then before, you obviously have to pay attention to the clam timer, or the basket timer. And then when it's low, you just put your clams in. That's how it'll be. You can continue the push. But if you don't believe that the push is gonna go on for long, I would not blame you for just spamming all 6 or 7 of your clams in the basket. I would not blame you for doing that. Sometimes that is better, just to get those points out. So it's really up to you guys. But if you think it's gonna last a long time, then don't just do what I'm doing right here. We're just fucking spamming them. Because then you have a timer. So yeah, just delaying your clams like this. Where you're probably fighting in the background. You're not just standing here, of course. Here you go, get your more clams. And delay it as much as possible. You see? That's how you keep the clam basket open.